Loneliness has been studied, diagnosed, medicated, and TED-talked to death. But cinema got there first. Long before neuroscience started measuring the pain of social exclusion, certain filmmakers were already doing something more honest. They were just showing it. No resolution, no explanation, no comfort. These are the 7 most psychologically honest films ever made about loneliness. Not the prettiest, not the most comforting, the most honest. Let's dive in.
You talking to me? Well, then who the hell else are you talking? You talking to me?
Number 1. Taxidriver, 1976, Martin Scorsese. This is not a film about a violent man, it's a film about a lonely one. Travis Bickle drives through New York every night. He sees everything. He talks to no one. He keeps a diary, not because anyone will read it, but because there's no one to talk to. He describes his loneliness the way a doctor would describe a diagnosis. Matter of fact. Inevitable. Here's what makes Taxidriver psychologically honest. Travis doesn't want to be alone. He tries. He asks a woman out. He shows up. But he takes her to a pornographic cinema, genuinely believing it's a normal date. That's not villainy. That's a man so isolated he's lost the map entirely. And the more he fails, the more the city becomes a mirror for everything he feels inside. Dirty, corrupt, worthy of cleansing. Most films would diagnose Travis, give him a backstory, make us understand. Scorsese refuses because real loneliness doesn't come with an explanation. It just comes. And then one day, it comes with a gun.
I walked around for months talking to you.
Number 2, Paristexas, 1984, Wim Wenders.
Now, I don't know what to say.
This is not a film about a man who lost everything. It's a film about a man who walked away from everything and spent 4 years in the desert trying to understand why. When we first meet Travis Henderson, he doesn't speak. The words seem to have left him, as if 4 years of silence have taken language itself. And that detail is psychologically devastating, because that's what prolonged loneliness actually does. It doesn't just remove people from your life. It removes the part of you that knows how to reach them. Travis slowly re-enters the world. He reconnects with his son. He learns to talk again. And then he does the one thing the film has been building toward. He finds Jane, the woman he loved, the woman he left. But Wenders doesn't give you the reunion you're waiting for. Travis and Jane speak through a one-way mirror in a peep show booth. He can see her. She can't see him. They are physically closer than they've been in years and completely unreachable to each other. That's not a metaphor. That's a confession. Travis knows he can't go back, not because she won't let him, because he won't let himself. Some people don't just fear intimacy. They've decided, somewhere deep and wordless, that they don't deserve it. Paristexas never explains that decision. It just shows you the wreckage.
But there's something that feels so good about sharing your life with somebody.
How do you share your life with somebody?
Number 3, Her, 2013, Spike Jonze. Theodore Twombly writes love letters for a living. Beautiful, intimate, deeply personal letters for other people. He has never written one for himself. That's the entire film, right there. Theodore is not unlikable. He's not broken in any obvious way. He's just sealed. Somewhere along the way, he learned that real intimacy comes with real risk, and he stopped taking it. So he pours everything into his work, into other people's love stories, and comes home to an empty apartment and a video game. Then Samantha arrives, an AI. And for the first time in years, Theodore feels understood. She's curious about him. She remembers everything. She feels completely safe, because unlike humans, she seems to exist only for this connection. And that's exactly the problem. Her is psychologically honest because it doesn't judge Theodore for falling in love with an OS. It asks a more uncomfortable question. If you need to remove all human risk before you can open up, were you ever really connecting at all? The loneliness in Her isn't loud. It doesn't drive taxis through the night or disappear into deserts. It sits in a beautiful apartment, wearing nice clothes, speaking in a warm voice. It looks completely fine. That's what makes it so hard to see.
I've missed you.
Me too.
Try to.
Try to what?
Try to explain.
I think I might have psychological problems.
Oh, good. That clears things up. Thanks.
Number 4, Anomalisa, 2015, Charlie Kaufman. In this film, every single person sounds identical. Different faces, different bodies, different lives, but the exact same voice. Male, female, young, old, one voice, always. That's not a stylistic choice, that's a diagnosis. Michael Stone is a customer service expert. He travels, gives lectures, stays in hotels. He is surrounded by people at every moment, and every single one of them has become noise to him. Indistinguishable, interchangeable. The world has flattened into a single, endless, monotonous hum. Then he hears Lisa, and she sounds different, actually different. Her voice cuts through everything. And for one night, Michael feels something he had completely forgotten was possible. The loneliness lifts, but Kaufman doesn't let you stay there. By the next morning, over breakfast, Lisa's voice begins to sound like all the others. The flatness returns, the hum comes back, and you realize the problem was never the world. The problem is Michael. He is so sealed inside himself that nothing can reach him for long, not even the one person who briefly broke through. Anomalisa is the most clinical film on this list. It doesn't ask you to feel sorry for Michael. It doesn't ask you to like him. It just shows you what it looks like when a human being loses the ability to truly perceive another human being. That's not loneliness as suffering. That's loneliness as a permanent condition.
One person for the rest of your life, you come to restaurants, you see couples sitting together and they don't even speak to one another. They don't have anything to say. They don't have anything.
They probably don't have to speak because they're connected.
Or they're just bored with one another.
Number 5, Shame, 2011, Steve McQueen. Brandon Sullivan has everything loneliness is supposed to prevent. He's attractive, successful, lives in a beautiful apartment in New York. Women want him, men respect him. He is one of the loneliest people in cinema history. Brandon is a sex addict, but Shame is not a film about addiction. It's a film about what addiction is hiding, because underneath every compulsion, every stranger, every screen, every transaction, there is a man who cannot stand to be still, cannot stand to be alone with himself, cannot stand the silence that comes when there's no one left to perform for. His sister Sissy arrives unannounced and stays at his apartment. And watch what happens. Brandon doesn't soften. He hardens, because Sissy actually knows him. And being known is the most terrifying thing in the film. McQueen shoots Brandon's loneliness with almost no dialogue, long takes, static camera. A man jogging through New York at night, alone for what feels like forever. You don't need words. You can see it in his body. The exhaustion of someone who has been running from himself for a very long time. Shame is psychologically honest because it refuses the addiction narrative. Brandon doesn't hit rock bottom and seek help. The film ends in ambiguity, not resolution, because that's what this kind of loneliness does. It doesn't announce itself. It just quietly empties you out, from the inside. Number 6, Persona, 1966, Ingmar Bergman. What if the loneliness isn't about other people? What if it's about you and the fact that you don't know who you are? Elisabeth Vogler is a famous stage actress. One night, mid-performance, she simply stops. No breakdown, no tears, no explanation. She stops, as if she has suddenly seen through the performance of being a person and can no longer continue it. She is sent to a remote island with a nurse named Alma, and what follows is one of the most psychologically intense two-person studies ever put on film. Alma talks, Elisabeth listens, Alma confesses things she has never told anyone, and slowly, almost imperceptibly, the boundaries between them begin to dissolve. Who is speaking? Who is listening? Where does one woman end and the other begin? Bergman is asking something precise here. If identity is a performance, and Elisabeth has refused to perform, then what's left? And if what's left is too frightening to show the world, isn't that the deepest loneliness of all? Not the loneliness of being without people, the loneliness of being without a self. Persona doesn't resolve. It fragments. The film itself starts to break down. The celluloid burns. The image splits. Bergman isn't being abstract. He's being literal. This is what it feels like when the self can no longer hold together. Some people watch Persona and feel confused. That confusion is the point. Number 7. Jeanne Dielman, 23 Commerce Quay, 1080 Brussels, 1975, Chantal Ackerman. This film is over 3 hours long, and for most of that runtime, you watch a woman cook, clean, and wash dishes in real time. That's it. That's the film. And it will be the most uncomfortable 3 hours of your life. Jeanne Dielman is a widowed mother. Every day is identical. She wakes up. She makes breakfast. She sends her son to school. She cleans. She cooks. She receives a male visitor in the afternoon, a client, because she is also a sex worker, though Ackerman films this with the same flat, unblinking camera as everything else. Then she makes dinner. Then she sleeps. Then she does it again. Ackerman doesn't editorialize. There is no music telling you how to feel, no close-ups of Jeanne's face searching for emotion. Just the routine, unbroken, relentless. And somewhere in that relentlessness, you begin to feel it, the weight of a life lived entirely on the surface. Jeanne doesn't have an inner world anymore. Or, if she does, the routine has buried it so deep that neither she nor we can reach it. That's the loneliness Ackerman is documenting. Not dramatic isolation, not existential crisis, just the quiet, daily erasure of a self, repeated so many times it has become invisible, even to the person it's happening to. Then, on the third day, something goes wrong. A small thing. Jeanne overcooks the potatoes, and from that moment, the routine begins to crack. Barely. Almost imperceptibly. But enough. The film ends in an act of violence that comes from nowhere and from everywhere. Ackerman doesn't explain it. She doesn't need to. You've spent 3 hours watching the pressure build. You felt it yourself. That uncomfortable restlessness, that urge for something, anything, to happen. That restlessness wasn't Jeanne's. It was yours. And that's the most honest thing any film on this list does. None of these films will make you feel better about loneliness. That was never the point. The point is that you recognized something. And recognition, however uncomfortable, is the opposite of being alone. Thank you for watching.